when the sun beats down and melts the tar on the roof, yeah. And your shoes get so hot you wish your tired feet were fireproof. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah. On a blanket with my baby is where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, yeah, we'll be out of the sun. Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we could be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk. Hello there, and welcome to Sly Wagon Lessons, the YouTube channel where I provide you with some song-based learning on how to play the harmonica and the guitar together on some of your favorite songs, or at least on some of my favorite songs. And we've got a good one coming up for you today. If you've been here before, you'll be familiar with our windows over here on the side that bring the instruction to life. Up on top is the picto tab. That's just where I'll demonstrate the harmonica tablature for a 10-hole diatonic harmonica. So a blue square in the picto tab means a blow note on that hole, while a red square denotes a draw note or an inhale note on that hole. All right, you got your picto tab, you got your chord cam down below showing you how to play this. The only things you'll need for today's lesson, and harmonica, and today we are playing straight harmonica in the key of C. So I've got a C harmonica in the rack, and a rack is the next thing that you will need so that it holds the harmonica nicely in front of your mouth. And you'll need a guitar as well. And as before, you need your guitar in tune and tuned to concert pitch. All right, 440 hertz. Stuttgart pitch for the guitar. All right, we'll get going in a second here, but first I will encourage you to subscribe to Sly Wagon Lessons if learning to play the harmonica and the guitar is of interest, and we'll keep the lessons coming. All right, Under the Boardwalk is the song for today. Get going in a second. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about Under the Boardwalk. It was a hit for the Drifters back in the early 60s. There's been a couple of interesting cover songs that were hits as well since then, by John Mellencamp, for instance, in the 80s. It was on the B-side. He released it on the B-side of R.O.C.K. in the USA. Lovely version of Under the Boardwalk with some great Lisa Germano fiddle playing on that record. I think that one charted and was a hit in its own right, even though it was a B-side. And then Bruce Willis, yes, Bruce Willis, the actor, put out an album in the 80s as well called The Return of Bruno on Motown. Motown Records put it out, if you can believe it. And he did a version of Under the Boardwalk on that album. It charted not too highly in most countries, but it did very well in the UK for whatever reason. I think it topped at like number 2. The Brits love them some Bruce Willis. So you can check out those cover versions as well. But the first and the kind of benchmark was by the Drifters, Under the Boardwalk. It's just a feel-good, happy song about some old-fashioned dogging under the boardwalk on the Jersey Shore, and we're going to learn a couple of bits to play on the harmonica for Under the Boardwalk. First, as I like to do, is remind myself of the scale in which I'm going to be playing, and achieve that nice, clear single note that we're going to need for playing this song as well. So I like to whistle to get my mouth into the proper shape, to get a nice, clear embouchure there, a good distinct hole to fit over the harmonic, all right? So I whistle. I'm not a good whistler, but it gets my mouth into the shape I need. All right, so I'm going to play a C scale on the harmonica. I'm going to go into the second octave. So the first octave would be on holes 4 through 7. And then there's another, almost all, of another scale above 7. They leave out a note. They leave out that high B just before the C on 10 blow. But I'll rip off a scale, and you can see in the picto tab how it works. So there's your 4 blow. Nice clear 4 blow because we've whistled. Got our mouth into the right shape. That's got us up to 7 blow. Now we're going to continue into the second octave. So it hits the A on a 10 draw and then skips the B and goes right to the C on 10 blow. That is more than enough notes for what we're going to learn today to complement Under the Boardwalk by the Drifters. So we're going to learn a couple of parts on the harmonica that you can add to Under the Boardwalk. We'll learn an intro part, which just goes over 2 chords, a C and a G7. And then we'll also learn a solo that you can throw in kind of anywhere in between verses. And that one goes through the whole chord progression. It picks up on the melody of the song and kind of goes through the whole chord progression. All right? So I'll start with the intro. As I mentioned, it's just 2 chords, the C and the G7. So the C, I kind of like to play it with a G bass. So it means taking that ring finger from the C note on the A string and move it over to the G, and then use your pinky to pick up that C note. Just sounds a little bit fuller and smoother than a G with the regular E bass. Then the G7 is just your standard G7. That's the chord I like. You could play it with just a G as well, and that would probably sound okay as well. If you do play it with a G rather than a G7, I would recommend playing it this way, the G that way, with your pinky on that high G, such that your hand kind of stays in that shape, and you can go back and forth between the, I screwed that up. You can go back and forth between the C and the G without moving your hand too much, which, is just a good practice to try to minimize your hand movement when you're playing these songs. All right? So the intro just kind of picks up on kind of a modified boogie, I guess. Slowed down a bit. If I was going to play a boogie on the guitar in C, it would be like this. It would be like this. All right? So we take most of the notes of that and modify the rhythm a little bit to get what we're going to play on the harmonica in this one. It sounds like this. Take it up to the G7 shape as well. All right. So I'll play it through sort of at speed, and then I'll slow it down for you. For the rhythm of the song, you can use like palm muting to try to achieve that nice little bit of percussive rhythm. Another thing you might do is alternating, pick out alternating bass notes. That can be hard to maintain when you're also trying to play the harmonica. But play around with that, because it does add to the song and creates a nice little rhythm that you can keep going, if you can keep it going. All right? So there's my 4 blow. It starts on 4 blow. So that's the intro. It's not very difficult, really. It does get you up into that higher portion of the harmonica. So you can see on the picto tab, remember the pattern changes there. 4, 5, and 6 have a different pattern than 7 and beyond that you'll see when you get up into those higher notes. So let me slow it down for you a little bit. So that's the simple intro. You want to take some time to get familiar with that, and certainly to make the chord changes kind of happen automatically, so you can concentrate on playing the harmonica. All right, so now that we've got that nifty little intro under your belt, we'll move on to the solo, which is a little bit longer, maybe a little bit more complex, because it plays over the chord progression, the whole chord progression that is used in the verses of Under the Boardwalk. So a couple more chords that I'll show you first is just your standard A minor. Get it centered in the chord cam there. No mystery about that one. And there is an F in there, of course, in the key of C. You're going to get an F chord. I like the F with the first finger fully barring at the first fret, because that adds some nice bottom. And when you're playing by yourself, I think at least you want as much bass as you can achieve. Now, if you can't do that, and that doesn't feel comfortable for you, you can do a smaller F down there, just on the top 4 strings. Sounds a little more trebly, and maybe you like that. I like the fully barred F. All right, so this solo follows the melody of the verses, and you can put it in anywhere that you would put a verse. So it's going to come after the chorus, depending on how many times you run through this when you're performing it. The chorus just goes back and forth, basically, between the A minor and the G7. I'll see if I can play it for you. Under the boardwalk, we'll be out of the sun. Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we could be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk. And then this is where you would start the solo, and that actually starts over no chords. The guitar will come back in kind of on the 3rd note of the solo. I'll play it for you at speed, and then we'll slow it down, and you can watch along in the picto tab. So you've hit that A minor at the end of the chorus. All right. So let me slow it down for you, and I'll see if I can play the chords more slowly as well. Sometimes that's hard to do. So you can see that the chord changes sometimes come in the middle of one of the phrases that you're building on the harmonica, and that can be complex and hard to achieve. So you'll want to keep practicing that, and particularly get those chord changes sort of happening automatically so that you can concentrate on playing the notes on the harmonica. There is that one spot where I kind of do some tongue blocking to hit a bit of staccato. I think it's on the 5 blow. That is really just using your tongue to block the air, to put a bit of rhythm into it. So let me slow this down further for you just on the harmonica so you can follow along. Here's the whole solo start to finish. Good. So start slowly and with a nice kind of lilting rhythm, and then you'll be able to build it up to speed as your hand and your harmonica start to work together. All right, sports fans, there you have it. You can now add Under the Boardwalk to your set list. You know, a nifty little intro, and you've got a nice harmonica solo that you can throw in there anywhere. Now that you've learned it, it should be like ketchup and spread all over everything, wherever you feel you can add it. All right, so I want to take a second before we go here and encourage you again to subscribe to Sly Wagon Lessons if you would like more song-based instruction on how to play the harmonica and the guitar together. Subscribe, and I will keep them coming. All right, I'm going to play you out with the solo again from Under the Boardwalk. Thanks. Hope to see you again next time.